Happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah.
It's that time of year again when the tinsel is twinkling and the carols are blaring,
Yeah.
and our feline overlords are plotting the downfall of all that is merry and bright.
Right.
So today we're diving deep into creating a cat-safe holiday wonderland.
Okay.
Because, let's face it, nothing says holiday spirit like a trip to the emergency vet with your cat.
Oh, absolutely not.
You've shared some amazing articles and questions about this from other cat owners.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear your thoughts on how we can all navigate the season without turning our homes into total disaster zones.
Well, the holidays, they are a minefield for cat owners. But with a little knowledge and a lot of preventative measures,
Uh-huh.
we can at least make sure the most chaotic thing we encounter is wrapping paper instead of, a cat tangled in Christmas lights.
Exactly. I mean, we've all seen those viral videos
Ah.
of cats launching themselves at beautifully decorated trees.
Yeah.
So let's start with the centerpiece of the holiday season.
Yeah.
The Christmas tree. It's like a giant sparkly cat toy just daring them to climb.
Oh, absolutely. And let's be honest, cats don't exactly prioritize structural integrity when they decide to scale a 7-foot pine tree.
Right.
So a sturdy base is non-negotiable.
Okay.
Think Fort Knox, but for your tree.
Okay.
You might even want to consider anchoring it to the wall.
Really?
Basically a holiday seatbelt to prevent a timber-related catastrophe.
Anchoring it to the wall. I'm picturing some elaborate pulley system rigged up in my living room.
Yeah.
My cat's going to think I'm building her a personal jungle gym.
Well,
But speaking of tempting targets, what about those ornaments?
yeah.
Sparkly dangly things. It's like we're setting up a feline obstacle course.
It's true. We love those shiny baubles, but for cats, they're basically just irresistible prey.
Yeah.
And tinsel, don't even get me started. It's like offering them a sparkly, indigestible noodle guaranteed to cause a festive intestinal blockage.
Oh, no.
So opt for fabric garlands or paper chains. They're much safer and less likely to end up in your cat's digestive tract.
So we're trading tinsel for tasteful paper chains.
Got it.
Although I'm not sure my cat will appreciate my newfound commitment to understated holiday decor.
Right.
What about those delicate glass ornaments?
Yeah.
Should I just accept that they'll be shattered by New Year's Eve?
Well, you can still have some sparkle. Just be strategic about placement.
Well,
Hang the fragile ones higher up out of paw's reach.
okay.
Or embrace your inner pragmatist and go full-on shatterproof.
Right.
No judgment here. It's all about finding that balance between aesthetics and avoiding a Christmas morning littered with glass shards.
Okay, so the Christmas tree is officially cat-proofed.
Hopefully.
Or as cat-proofed as anything can be with a determined feline on the prowl.
That's true.
But what about all that festive foliage? We've got poinsettias and mistletoe and holly.
Oh, yeah.
Are these just holiday hazards waiting to happen?
It's funny you should mention poinsettias because they often get a bad rap. People think they're deadly for cats.
Uh-huh.
But the truth is, they're more likely to cause mild irritation than a full-blown medical emergency.
Oh, really?
The real villains are lilies, mistletoe, and holly.
Wait, seriously. So all those years of me panicking about poinsettias were for nothing?
Well, I wouldn't recommend letting your cat munch on them,
Okay.
but they're not public enemy number one.
Okay.
Lilies, on the other hand, are incredibly dangerous. Even a small amount can cause kidney failure in cats.
Wow.
And mistletoe and holly can lead to some pretty unpleasant tummy troubles. So if you're looking for safe alternatives, a Christmas cactus is a good option.
Okay.
Or just go faux. Fake plants don't require watering, and they won't send your cat on a trip to the vet.
Okay, sake plants it is. My thumbs are already black enough from trying to keep a basil plant alive. But even with safe options, I imagine it's best to keep them out of reach. Right.
Oh, for sure.
Cats are basically furry little ninjas with
Yeah.
a knack for getting into everything.
You're telling me cats can find a way to climb onto a bookshelf that's bolted to the ceiling?
Wow.
It's best to assume that if a cat can reach something, they will reach something. So yes, even with cat-friendly plants, it's always better to be safe than sorry, especially when it comes to their health.
Speaking of things cats shouldn't be eating, let's talk about the holiday feast.
Oh, yeah.
Because while we're indulging in all those delicious smells and treats,
Right.
I imagine there were some serious no-nos for our furry friends.
Yeah.
What are the top holiday foods we need to keep away from our feline companions?
Well, first on the naughty list is chocolate.
Oh, no.
As tempting as it is to share a bite of that decadent chocolate cake,
Yeah.
even a small amount can be toxic to cats. They can't metabolize theobromine,
Oh!
a compound found in chocolate, and it can cause some serious health issues.
No chocolate for the kitty. That's heartbreaking. What about eggnog?
Yeah,
Surely a little sip of that creamy goodness won't hurt, right?
Wrong. Eggnog is also a big no-no.
Really?
The alcohol content, even in small amounts, can be dangerous for cats.
Huh.
Remember that time your cat tried to sneak a lick of spilled eggnog? That wasn't just a funny anecdote. It was a near miss with a potential holiday disaster.
Okay, duly noted. Chocolate and eggnog are off limits.
Yeah.
What about the main event? The Christmas turkey. Can our cats at least enjoy a little taste of the festive bird?
Plain cooked turkey without any seasoning or skin is generally fine in small amounts.
Okay.
It's a good source of protein and probably much healthier than whatever they find under the fridge.
Yeah.
But bones cooked or raw are a definite no-no.
Yeah.
They can splinter and cause serious internal injuries.
So we're talking turkey meat, yes. Bones and fatty scraps, absolutely not.
Correct.
What about all those delicious leftovers? I could already picture my cat trying to stage a midnight raid on the fridge.
Leftovers are another holiday hazard waiting to happen.
Oh.
Secure those trash bags like you're protecting the crown jewels.
Okay.
And make sure your cat can't go dumpster diving for scraps. Trust me, you don't want to deal with a cat who's gotten into the gravy and cranberry sauce.
I can only imagine it's like a holiday horror movie. The cat who ate Christmas dinner. But seriously, we need to be vigilant about securing those leftovers. Okay, so we've covered the physical hazards of the holidays. But what about our cat's emotional well-being? All the hustle and bustle, unfamiliar faces, and loud noises.
Right.
It can't be easy being a cat during the holidays.
You're absolutely right. The holidays, while joyful for us, can be a stressful time for our feline companions.
Yeah.
They thrive on routine, and all the holiday chaos can throw them for a loop.
So how do we create a calming environment for them amidst all the madness? Do we need to build them a soundproof bunker stocked with catnip and tuna?
A soundproof bunker wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
But seriously, one of the best things you can do is provide your cat with a safe space.
Okay.
A quiet room away from the holiday hubbub where they can retreat and de-stress.
It's like a little vacation for them while we're busy decking the halls and trying to avoid getting tinsel in our hair.
Exactly. Make sure their bed litter box and some favorite toys are in this safe space.
Okay.
You can even use a pheromone diffuser to create a calming atmosphere. It's like aromatherapy for cats.
Aromatherapy for cats. I'm totally on board with that. Anything to keep them zen during this crazy time of year. But even with a safe space and a calming diffuser, I imagine it's still important to manage the interactions between our cats and holiday guests.
Oh, absolutely. Not all cats are social butterflies.
Right.
Some are perfectly content being aloof observers of the holiday festivities,
Yeah.
while others might be more prone to anxiety or fear when faced with a bunch of strangers in their territory.
Right. Not every cat wants to be held and petted by Uncle Bob, who's had a little too much eggnog and thinks he's a cat whisperer.
Exactly.
So how do we navigate those potentially awkward interactions?
Communication is key. Let your guests know if your cat is shy or prefers not to be petted.
Okay.
And make sure your cat has escape routes, high shelves, cat trees, or even just a room they can retreat to if things get too overwhelming.
It's all about respecting their boundaries and making them feel comfortable in their own home, even when it's overrun with holiday cheers. And speaking of safety measures, are there any quick-fire tips we should keep in mind to prevent any holiday mishaps?
Oh, absolutely. Let's dive into a few more essential safety reminders to make sure this holiday season is merry and bright for everyone, including our furry friends.
Okay, so we've covered the basics of cat-proofing our homes, securing the trees, swapping out dangerous decorations, and hiding the chocolate stash.
Right.
But let's talk about something a little more fun.
Okay.
Gifts for our feline overlords.
Fine.
Because let's be honest, their expectations are probably pretty high this time of year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They've been watching us meticulously wrap presents for weeks, and they're probably wondering when their turn is. But choosing the right gift for a cat can be tricky. It's not just about finding something cute and sparkly. It needs to be safe and engaging as well.
Right. We don't want to end up with a gift that's more hazardous than the Christmas tree itself.
Exactly.
So what are some things to keep in mind when shopping for our furry friends?
Well, first and foremost, safety is paramount. Avoid anything with small parts that could be easily chewed off and swallowed.
Okay.
We're aiming for purrs, not a choking hazard.
Got it. No choking hazards allowed. What about materials? Because let's face it, cats can be pretty tough on their toys. I swear mine can shred a brand new plush mouse in under 5 minutes.
Durability is key. Look for toys made from sturdy materials like canvas sisal or even rubber,
Okay.
and avoid anything with those tempting feather or string attachments. They might look fun, but they can be easily ingested and cause serious digestive issues.
So basically, we're looking for the feline equivalent of indestructible chew toys. Something that can withstand the wrath of a cat on a mission.
Exactly. And don't forget about mental stimulation. Cats need enrichment, especially during the holidays when their routine is disrupted.
Yeah.
Interactive toys like puzzle feeders are a great option.
Okay.
They make your cat work for their food, which is great for their instincts and helps prevent boredom.
Ooh, I love that. It's like a brain workout for our furry geniuses. And speaking of mental stimulation, what about catnip toys? Those are always a classic, right?
Catnip is a perennial favorite, but make sure you're choosing a high-quality catnip that's free from pesticides and other harmful chemicals. You want them to experience a natural high, not a chemically induced one.
Good point. We want them to be blissed out on nature's finest, not some questionable synthetic stuff. What about scratching posts? Those seem like a practical gift that cats actually need.
Scratching posts are essential. They provide an outlet for cats' natural scratching instincts, saving your furniture from becoming a casualty of their sharpening routines.
Yeah.
Plus, it helps them stretch and exercise their muscles. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
Okay, so we've got some great gift ideas. Durable toys, puzzle feeders, high-quality catnip, and a sturdy scratching post. Our cats are going to be spoiled rotten. But what about those of us who are planning to travel with our furry companions during the holidays?
Yeah.
That seems like a whole other level of challenge.
Traveling with cats can definitely be an adventure,
Yeah.
but it's totally doable with a bit of planning and preparation. The key is to minimize stress and maximize comfort for both you and your feline friend.
Easier said than done, right? I mean, cats aren't exactly known for their love of car rides and unfamiliar environments.
Right.
What are some essential things we should keep in mind when planning a trip with a cat?
The first thing is a secure and comfortable carrier. Don't just grab the first one you see at the pet store. Choose a carrier that's large enough for your cat to stand up and turn around in comfortably with plenty of ventilation and a secure latch. It's basically their mobile safe space.
So we're talking first-class accommodations for our furry travelers.
Yeah.
I like it. What about getting them used to the carrier beforehand? Because I can already picture myself wrestling my cat into a carrier while he's hissing and flailing like a furry-clawed octopus.
That's a common scenario, but we can avoid it. Don't wait until the day of travel to introduce your cat to the carrier.
Okay.
Leave it out in the open a few weeks beforehand, maybe with a cozy blanket and some treats inside to help them associate it with positive experiences.
Oh, okay.
You basically want them to think it's their new favorite hangout spot.
So it's like a pre-trip spa day for our feline companions. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
But what about during the actual journey? Any tips for keeping them calm and collected amidst the chaos of travel?
If you're traveling by car, make sure the carrier is securely fastened in the back seat, preferably on the floor where it's less likely to bounce around.
None?
You can cover it with a light blanket to create a sense of security,
Okay.
but make sure there's enough ventilation. You basically want to create a cozy, calming den for them.
It's like their own personal cat limo.
Mm.
What about if we're flying with a cat? That seems even more daunting.
Flying with a cat definitely requires more preparation. First, check with the airline about their pet policies. Some airlines have specific requirements for carriers, breed restrictions, and even health certificates.
Oh, right. Like cats need passports and visas to travel internationally. It's like a whole other world of feline bureaucracy.
It can feel that way. You'll also need to make sure your cat is microchipped and wearing a collar with up-to-date identification tags. And talk to your vet about calming medications or pheromone sprays that can help ease their anxiety during the flight.
Pheromone sprays. Those are a lifesaver.
Yeah.
It's like a little spritz of zen for stressed out kitties. Okay, so we got the travel logistics covered. But what about those sneaky holiday hazards that might be lurking in our homes even when we're not traveling?
Ah, yes, the hidden dangers of the holiday season. It's like our homes transform into obstacle courses for unsuspecting felines.
Right.
And it's not just about the obvious stuff like decorations and food. There are all sorts of unexpected hazards we need to be aware of.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of hazards are we talking about? I thought we'd already covered all the bases.
Well, remember those beautiful holiday plants we discussed earlier? Make sure they're not just out of reach, but completely inaccessible.
Sure.
Some cats are master climbers and escape artists, and they'll find a way to reach that forbidden poinsettia if they're determined enough.
So even with cat-friendly plants, we can't let our guard down. It's like living with a tiny furry Houdini.
Exactly. And those tempting ribbons and bows on presents. They might look pretty, but they can be a choking hazard if ingested. Cats love to play with anything that dangles or shimmers, so it's best to keep those enticing ribbons and bows safely out of reach. And while we're on the subject of tempting objects, those small, sparkly decorations can be equally dangerous.
You're telling me one year My cat managed to swallow a jingle bell. Let's just say it was a very unmerry Christmas at the vet's office.
Oh, no. That's why it's so important to be mindful of what we leave within paw's reach. It's not just about the obvious dangers, it's about anticipating those unexpected feline fascinations.
Okay, so ribbons, bows, and sparkly decorations are all potential hazards. What about those scented candles?
Yeah.
Those seem like they could be a problem too, right?
You're right. Some scented candles, especially those with strong artificial fragrances, can be irritating to cats' sensitive noses and respiratory systems.
Okay,
Stick to unscented candles or those with natural essential oils and never leave burning candles unattended, especially with a curious cat around.
got it. Safety first, always. And while we're on the topic of things that smell good, what about all those delicious holiday treats? We've talked about the food itself, but what about the packaging?
Ah, yes, the packaging. Those shiny wrappers and plastic containers can be tempting for cats to chew on and potentially swallow.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. If it crinkles, crackles, or smells delicious, it's probably a cat magnet.
It's like they have a sixth sense for anything that could potentially be fun to bat around or shred to pieces. So I guess the key is to be extra vigilant about disposing of food wrappers and containers properly, right?
Exactly. Don't leave those tempting wrappers lying around, and make sure your garbage cans are secure so your cat can't go on a late-night snacking adventure.
So basically, we need to be constantly on guard, thinking like a cat, anticipating their every mischievous move. It's like a holiday-themed game of cat and mouse, but with higher stakes.
It's definitely a challenge, but a little awareness and preparation go a long way in preventing mishaps and ensuring a safe and enjoyable holiday for both you and your feline companion.
This has been so helpful. I feel like I've got a whole new perspective on holiday safety, and I'm sure our listeners do too. But before we wrap up this section, are there any final words of wisdom you'd like to share?
The most important thing to remember is that the holidays are a time to enjoy with loved ones, both human and furry. By being mindful of potential hazards and taking a few simple precautions, we can create a festive and safe environment for everyone.
I love that. It's all about striking that balance between holiday cheer and responsible pet ownership. So let's raise a glass of catnip tea to a happy, healthy, and perfectly safe holiday season.
Cheers to that. And remember, if you have any concerns about your cat's health or behavior, don't hesitate to reach out to your veterinarian. They're your best resource for keeping your furry friend happy and healthy all year round.
Welcome back to the final stretch of our Cat Safe Holiday Deep Dive. I'm feeling much more prepared to handle the festive season without causing my cat undue stress or a vet bill the size of Santa's sleigh. But before we officially close out this episode, are there any last-minute pearls of wisdom we should cover?
Amidst all the excitement of decorating and gift giving and feasting, it's easy to overlook one of the most crucial aspects of cat safety: identification.
Right. We've talked about making sure their collars and ID tags are up to date, but is there anything else we can do to ensure our furry escape artists can be reunited with us if they happen to slip out during the holiday commotion?
Absolutely. Microchipping is one of the best things you can do for your cat's safety, not just during the holidays, but year-round. It's a tiny permanent identification tag that's implanted under their skin, basically a digital fingerprint that can be scanned by a vet or shelter if your cat ever goes missing.
So even if they lose their collar or decide to embark on an unauthorized holiday adventure, there's a much higher chance of them finding their way back home.
Exactly. It's like giving them a secret agent ID that ensures they're never truly lost. And speaking of lost pets, let's circle back to those collars and ID tags. It might seem like a small detail, but it can make a huge difference. Make sure the tag includes your current contact information, including your phone number and address.
So basically, we're treating those ID tags like VIP backstage passes. The key to getting our feline rock stars back where they belong.
That's a great way to put it. And while we've covered a lot of practical safety tips, it's important to remember that the best way to keep our cats safe during the holidays is to be mindful of their emotional well-being.
Right. We can't just focus on the physical hazards we have to tune in to their emotional state as well. But with all the excitement and changes in routine, how can we tell if our cats are feeling stressed or overwhelmed?
Pay attention to their body language. If they're usually social and affectionate but suddenly become withdrawn or start hiding, it could be a sign that they're feeling overwhelmed. Changes in appetite, litter box habits, or even excessive grooming can also be indicators of stress.
So basically, we need to be feline detectives looking for clues and deciphering their secret language.
Exactly. Cats are masters of subtlety, so those subtle shifts in behavior can speak volumes. And if you notice any of those red flags, it's time to intervene and provide some extra support.
Right. We've talked about creating a safe space for them, using pheromone diffusers and managing interactions with guests. But are there any other ways we can help them cope with the holiday hustle and bustle?
Sometimes the best remedy is simply our time and attention. Even a few minutes of focused playtime, a gentle brushing session, or simply speaking to them in a soothing voice can make a world of difference.
It's like a little dose of TLC for our stressed-out kitties, reminding them that they're loved and safe even amidst all the holiday chaos.
Exactly. It's all about strengthening that bond and making them feel secure.
Well, this deep dive has been truly eye-opening. I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding of how to make the holidays safe and enjoyable for my cat, and hopefully our listeners feel the same way.
That's wonderful to hear. Remember, a little awareness and preparation go a long way in preventing mishaps and ensuring everyone has a happy holiday season.
So let's raise a paw to a perfectly safe and festive holiday season, filled with joy, laughter, and plenty of cat cuddles. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll be back next week with another fascinating topic. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and keep those whiskered wonders safe and sound.